This is the Fan Beat, a platform where we discuss issues regarding other club sides and how they're faring at the EPL. And on this edition, I have with me, as always, the Super United fan, Danny. How you
Hello.
doing?
I'm doing fine. Compliments of the season.
Compliments of the season. And Mickey, the man that is fanatical about Chelsea.
Of course, the
You
Blues
guys-
never lose. Of course,
And
they
somehow
never
you
lose.
guys lost against Fulham.
We'll get over it. We'll get over it.
Okay, compliments of the season, friends. And today we're going to be looking at the challenges that various club sides are facing, especially United, that are sitting for things on the table despite changing their coach from Eric Ten Hag to Amorim. And they also did a lot of things in order to change guys in their backroom staff. And for Chelsea, they changed their coach. Enzo Maresca is doing a lot of things, and people are beginning to have confidence in Chelsea, a team that was floundering despite the amount of money they've used in buying a lot of players. Guys, let us see. United, let's start with United. What is the problem with United? Are they cursed? Are they jinxed? Or how long is this going to continue?
Like I said the last time, we have players in the team that I refer to as savages. They don't want the team to grow because they knew if we decide to go back to the level that we were playing before, some of them will be left out. So in Amorim's one of his interviews, he said like the first thing the fans are requesting from the players is efforts. Efforts, we start winning games, moving to winning trophies. But if you're not making efforts, how are we going to win games? How are we going to win trophies? And that is one of the reasons why he decided to take Marcus Rashford and Garnacho out few games. Decided to like.
And don't you think that must have affected the rhythm that United were playing? Because these were the two guys that were moving the ball faster up front for United. Garnacho was a thorn in the flesh of a lot of defenders. I mean, Mickey, you're here. What's your opinion regarding benching Garnacho and Marcus Rashford?
I feel every coach has their own philosophy, and they got their own game plan, and they select players based on the game plan. And these two players, they've got their positive side, but as a team, their players are playing individually. They don't play collectively with the team, and that their individual performance affects the result. Like Garnacho, he wastes a lot of opportunities. I remember against Chelsea United, he has 3 clear opportunities. When he should pass the ball, he will not pass. When he should kick, maybe that's when he wants to dribble. So it's not just about getting the skill, but the intelligence you put in the game makes a big impact. I think that's the reason the coach wants to sit them back and say, hey, take a look at Diallo, take a look at Anthony, or take a look at this other player in this position and see. I just don't want you to go out there and play as if you are the world best or the only person the fans want to applaud. I want you to go out there and know it's for the team. I think that's the
This
idea.
man is speaking in favor. He's not a United man. So continue.
No, he's not a United man. There was one thing Amorim says about leaving Marcus Rashford and Garnacho out of the team. He said like he in and out of the pitch, he needs to see how they can relate to other players. He said, but when you take a look at them, you understand like they are out there on their own. They just wanted to do things on their own, which I will tell you personally, from my own side, I think like United has been a joke for a very long time. We have tolerated players to be putting on miserable performances and then they are still putting on that jersey. It's very simple. If you want to play for United, you should know what comes with playing for United and putting on that badge. It means your total commitment. If you're not ready to play for us, they should leave.
Okay, but Danny, when you talk about that commitment, I believe that if a coach wants the player, the first thing you do is selling your project, and you want to feel the pulse of the player, how he accommodates the project, how he accepts it. Because I'm still believing that rather than putting the entire fault on the shoulders of the players, the coach and the sporting director, whoever that is involved towards approaching that player and ensuring that player, you get that player's signature, are all responsible. Because if I don't feel your pulse, like we're here, if I don't feel your energy when you come into the studio for us to talk, I don't think we want you. But because we feel your energy and we seem to be in unison when we're going towards one particular direction, that's why I told you have got a lot of ideas. So I still believe there is a coaching problem and a managerial challenge also. So you look at it from that perspective, because you're talking more about commitment, the players not willing to wear the badge. Because if I decide to leave my club and say I'm coming to United, because everybody knows what United stands for. Aside from the Banters, we know that United is a fantastic club. And they have a good history. But, I mean, just like they always say in local parlance, I get motor car before not a property. Yeah. You understand? So now we're talking about now what you are able to do. You guys spent £2 million in order to pay off Newcastle to get Dan Ashworth. And somehow you guys came in and realized that it's not what you guys need. Wasted that money. And then you started downsizing, backroom staff. Oh, we're spending too much money. But there are places that you're wasting money. So I think it's more of an endemic management challenge than the players' commitment. Because the management has to be strong enough for you to send a message to the players. As you're coming into the club, you know what you're expecting. If you just like Mikel Arteta in Arsenal, he drew a pyramid tree and told them that this tree, the only reason why these branches will be alive is when the roots are alive. Yeah, sure. And who are the roots? Everyone, including the cameraman, the cleaner, the gardener. He made them understand that the moment one of the roots start dying, a part of the tree will start decaying. So I think it's more of a management challenge than a player's problem.
To some extent, I will agree with you, because Amori said the same thing. He said it's not just about the players; it has to do with everybody that has to contribute towards the club itself. Say, I've seen people losing their jobs because of mistakes here and there. It's not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. I think I'll give you an instance. Like for example, with Marcus Rashford, he has been like that with a lot of coaches. His attitude towards his fellow players and everything for a very long time. But he never said anything. It wasn't out at all. They were keeping it they were putting everything under the carpet. Yeah. All this while. But it was only when Amari decided to leave him out for a few games, and then he decided to come out and said, I'm looking for a new challenge. So this has been going on for a very, very long time, and nobody was saying nothing. And Lukaku made mention of the same thing one time. He said, when United loses, they are criticizing the foreign players. But when United wins, the British player gets all the praises. And it was the same thing with Dan Ashworth. He wanted specifically to get an English coach to manage Manchester United.
So that's the reason why he was given the
yes. Everybody was against it. They were telling him, like, looking at the standards of Manchester United, we don't think like we have that type of English coach that can actually do that good job.
There are a lot of repeatable English coaches.
Yeah, reputable.
Southgate is there.
Southgate, man, he's a joke.
For a man that took England to 2 finals.
Man, if you have a golden generation and then you did practically nothing with it, then you're a joke. England had like one of the best squad in history for a very long time. When they were rating them in the first three for almost all the successive competitions that they actually took part in. But for instance, let me just give you one game specifically stood out for me, and I even looked at this guy. I said, "This guy it's not okay." Croatia and England in that match. Mandzukic, he had like a slight knock from first half. It was I think 19 or 21 minutes. They kept him on the pitch until I think it was extra time, the extra 30 minutes or something like that. The guy scored the winning goal against England. They were playing very well. They scored the first goal. And this guy knew like the problem was just Jesse Lingard. He had to take him out and then bring someone in. He never did that. He allowed the game to just continue.
That might be a technical flaw. No, that doesn't make him.
And he has been making the same mistakes repeatedly. He did it with Euro as well. England had like a very young squad against Italy. Aged defenders. You couldn't actually bring on like fresh legs to actually make some changes. You had to do it on the later part of the game. And you can't keep making the same.
I feel United, one of the biggest challenges, my colleague is saying here, is that the decision-making process in United is somehow slow and also poor.
Yes.
One, if you think of the timing,
blame for that.
You blame the owners, the management. It's very slow and sometimes very poor. Bringing Amory, I think, is a very big challenge coming in for United.
Because
It's just that because
yes.
United is a big club.
Exactly.
If it was another club, we never has signed up for this challenge. It's a very big challenge.
Some form of sanity taking over the club. There was a different style of play, different culture, and the way the players were going about playing. You could see some sense of unison the way they were playing. But all of a sudden, it was even the man because I think the Amorim was ready to keep him as part of his backroom staff.
I thought they should have learned from Chelsea, at least do that approach. When we sacked our manager, we brought in an interim manager to complete the season. And Lampard delivered. He delivered that he took off up to a position. Yes, we are thinking of relegation and all of things. He was able to keep us with him. Yes, with best performance. And at the end of the season, we bring in the coach we needed. I think that should have helped this situation. But now, it's going to be very difficult for Amory. What he's doing is just testing. He's just testing.
Yeah.
Bringing this player, this game, bringing in another player, he's just testing. And he's picking out. He has January to at least, but January also is a very tight window. It's a very tight window.
But you cannot get more than
It's a very tight window for you to get players coming into your club.
Yeah, sure.
Some players, they are in a very big club. They have potential of winning trophies, and they will not leave that club to come to United.
Yeah, sure.
So, except by the end of the season, we'll see. But if you continue getting the poor results, fans will not sympathize with him. It will come under bashing. Definitely, they'll start bashing him.
The thing is, Amory never wanted to come in this early.
But you guys wanted him to come.
It was Omar Baradi, that guy, the CEO. He said it's either now or never. And looking at the club, the size of the club, and what he would do to his career and everything, his managerial career, so he took it upon himself to actually come in. He wanted to wait till the end of the season.
And that would have been best.
That is what, because at that time he would have enough time to assess the players, even though when he's not close, assess them, look which one should stay, which one should leave and everything. And that should have helped him a lot.
Okay, I like that. So, Mickey, if Amorim gets the sack, do you think it is a justified decision by the manager or is greed on the part of Amorim? Because he had the opportunity to say, look, if you guys really want me, you either wait for me or you forget about the issue. Because I believe it's greed. Because if, please, fans, make comments and react to this. If the guy is not greedy, you've got a job at hand that is running and you are in a good position in the Portuguese league. And they're telling you that, look, if you don't come, you'll lose this. Forget about it. You know what you are made up of. Why not just stay? Because you know your onion. You should be able to tell them that, look, call their bluff. If you cannot wait for me, okay, it's okay. Well, another club side would have still come for him in the Premier League. Look at the Portuguese coach that defeated him now, the guy that is coaching Wolves.
Yes.
The guy came with a different mentality and told Wolves to something, and that same Wolves that United beat every season. So I think if he gets the axe, it's part of his.
I don't think United is thinking of that for now. Okay. Whether it gets the results or they don't get, they're not thinking of that. But however,
the fans are turning
ambition. Of course, it's just fans. How many fans turn against Ten Hag? It was there, and the wrong decision United made was to even give Ten Hag another season.
Yeah,
it was clear. All pundits predicted he was supposed to go, but United said no. Okay, let's give him chance, and that was the biggest mistake. He should have gone.
Okay, guys, enough of United and their woes. But we're talking about Chelsea, a club that was sitting second position, and they say they are not in for the title race.
Of course.
But that pissed my mind, Danny. How can somebody be in second position? You say no, me I don't want for position. No, I'm just here just to complete the season, and all of a sudden you're in second position, and the next thing decide saying, hey, Enzo Maresca is doing magic. Guy, Mickey, tell us, with all the billions of pounds that you guys have wasted, do you think this is the season you guys can turn it around?
Well, I don't agree with the word wasted. Invested.
You wasted a lot.
No, invested.
Because Modric is nowhere to be found.
Yeah,
he has drug issues.
Of course.
Wow.
That was just the first test. There is a B sample that is going to be tested also.
Let's hope that.
Yes, and that will be the authentic one,
okay.
the B sample.
Okay.
And the test case, it was not even a club football. It was on national duties where it was tested. So we have not wasted 1 billion. We've invested. because the owners, they've got their ideology, and they know what they want. They want a very young squad, promising squad that will win us trophies in the long run.
What would be an ideal season for Chelsea, considering how much you guys have invested and now the number of coaches you guys have sacked and paid off, just like United? Because now one rope like I talk now, you guys know how to hire and sack, hire and fire. So tell us, what would be the ideal season for you, for Chelsea this season?
Okay, before the start of the season, if you ask any pundit about Chelsea, nobody expected us to be where we are today. All pundits never even gave us a chance. One, we are bringing in a new manager, not just a manager coming from the championship. Yeah, it doesn't even have the CV. If Chelsea was looking for a top manager,
He did well for
now what I'm saying, it doesn't even have the CV. If Chelsea was looking out for a manager, a top manager, he has no chance at that point. But he came into the club, and one of the first things he did when he entered the club, he said, I want to see the progress report on every player. All Chelsea players that were in the club. That was the reason why he said, I'm going to ask this player out of this club, I don't want to play with him. I'm going to ask Ben Chilwell out of the club, I don't want to play with him. That's where he started making his decision. Based on the progress of every player, he started cutting players off from the team. Now, he puts so much discipline into the club that we are not seeing more of individual performance. It's a team. You see, inconsistent players are now really stepping up. That's why we are where we are today. As he says, we are not into the title race. No, we are not.
That's
definitely. Yes, it could be deceptive, but it is too early for us to begin to ponder or even consider that possibility. He knows what he's saying.
So what is the possibility for Chelsea this season?
The possibility, before now, our previous coach, Pochettino, his ambition was just to finish top 4. He failed. Even though he took us to Europe and United, based on there were 4 units, they went to the Europa. Yes, because of the FA Cup. But he failed. And that was the reason why when we went back to the table to reconsider, the club saying, no, okay, you can go. Maresca also, his objective is to make sure the team is qualified for Champions League. Not even getting us trophies. But should we have a trophy? Like, fans will always want our clubs to win. So he cannot tell us that he has the possibility of winning the Premier League and fail and he wants the fans to clap. Or definitely the fans will not clap for that. If he's in the position or if he's in the race, we want him to go. You see the Conference League, we are dominating. It's like a training ground for us.
You have not played any formidable team now.
Even if you bring any formidable team, maybe Fiorentina or what.
You won't put things on.
But for now, we are dominating. So, like, every Chelsea fan, every Chelsea fan,
those guys from Eastern Europe, those people just filling the blank spaces.
Every Chelsea fan,
time comes because what he's doing, what he's doing at the moment is trying to use that Conference League to bloody new those academy players and give them playing time. But when the real game time comes, you guys are going to flounder. Because one of the biggest challenges you guys have, in as much as you guys are doing well, is that your defense is still not good.
Oh man,
the defense is poor. The defense is poor, definitely. But the advantage, what is covering us, is even though the team has got poor defending, we are scoring goals. And that can edge you to win games even by a margin. If you're not scoring and you're conceiving more than you're scoring, that will be very bad for you to win games. But we cannot continue conceiving goals like we did. If we continue so, it will cost us, like it cost us against Fulham. And that's what we have to work upon.
Tell us what will be your ideal season.
Our ideal season is
tell us
our ideal season.
Winning the Premier League.
No, we are not qualified.
Top 4.
Our ideal season for every Chelsea fans now is we qualify for Europe come next season.
Which Champions League?
Champions League, the top 4. Okay. We qualify for Champions League. Okay. Anything other than that, I think Maresca is off the hook. So it could be possible that he will be sacked. Winning any trophy, winning any trophy this season will be a bonus.
Hold on. Let me say something. Okay. With that. Now, I think like what Maresca was trying to do, or what he's trying to do, is like trying to take the pressure from the players.
I agree with you.
Can have like a good environment to be able to play.
I agree with you.
Where there is no pressure. So whatever the outcome might be, whether they decide to win the Premier League or win another trophy or some sort, it will be like an added bonus to them.
But do you think that will work? Because we Arsenal who did it, we said we're not in the title race.
Yeah,
but when we got there,
it won't work.
The players knew we spent 4 weeks on this second position. We spent 1 month, 3 months on this first position. Now we are going for it.
Yeah.
By the time they were now ready, we fizzled out.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So it is better for you to accept what you have in your hand. Fight for it. When you lose it, you lose it with honor.
With honor.
Not that you tell us you are going to the battle. We say this battle how they go. So I just go no more. I just go see what you go.
In one of our games, we won. Was it 3-1 or 2-1? And last minute we conceived against Brentford.
Yeah.
And Maesca made the point, just like you talk of our defense. He said a team that conceive goals at this point in time or so easily don't think is ready for the competition. He was very honest. He knows that if he is going to win the trophy, the Premier League to be specific, he has to work on that defense, and that defense has to be solid.
Okay.
You can't keep conceiving goals and think you just go for the Premier League and win it. So he's honest.
Final thought for Mickey: they have to work on their defense in order to be very
bold
competitors
for the Premier League.
So let's hope they'll be able to remedy their challenges, because their challenges is numerous. Now, coming from Danny, what will be the ideal season for United? Considering the fact that, despite the fact you guys have won matches, you lost matches, you just sit on, you're just floating between 13th and 14th. You're not moving. You're just floating between 13th and 14th. So what will be the ideal season for United?
At this point, I just think if the first decision for me personally, before we move to an ideal situation, would be stripping Bruno off his captaincy. That's the first thing.
I think I buy that idea.
He's my worst, the worst player on the team. He's worse than any other person. You can't be coaching your fellow players on the pitch. You be complaining, shouting at them. It's not professional. Let's say it's not just football.
But do you think stripping him and not selling him will do well for United? Because if you strip him, yes.
Both.
If you strip him
and then you sell him. Because let me tell you something. Bruno has a very small camp. But when you talk about the Maguire or some other player, I think Casemiro can be a better leader than even Bruno, because he has wealth of experience. He has played on the top level. Yeah. He has played for a very big club.
And he has won titles.
Yes, he has won titles. So I think he will be able to stable the ship at this point. Because let me tell you something. Honestly, with what I'm seeing so far, the level of their body language, the way they play, the way our team scores or something like that, I'm not seeing anything productive this year.
So what would be the ideal season for United?
I think we might be ending up with trophyless. That's the first thing. And qualifying for European football, it's a very slim possibility, unless otherwise. That if the coach decided to take the bull by its horn, now.
You're still standing on the fence. Are you going for Europe, or you are going for
no European position?
No European position.
No European position.
Okay.
I made it clear.
You guys have heard it from Danny. No European position for United. For Chelsea, they're looking at getting a formidable defense in order to be competitive. Right here, you heard it on Offside. And that's how it's been on this edition of Offside. You see, my guys from United, they ain't happy. The guy from Chelsea, the guy is smiling because he knows that they are within, this competitive range.
No, so I'm always happy because I know it's a storm. It's definitely passed.
No, we just hope that you guys don't not go remove bread from this guy mouth, because this guy was in Sporting Lisbon doing well. You guys went there and took him.
If we decide to let him go today, don't you think Sporting Lisbon will take him back?
They will gladly take him back. Anyways, that's how it's been on this edition of the show. Is this the last edition of Offside in 2024? And we hope that the new year is going to bring us a lot of good tidings. And for we in Arsenal, we're going to win the league. And for United, they are not going anywhere. For Chelsea, they are not interested in
top
the title.
Four.
So they will just come to fulfill all righteousness. And for Danny, what do you have to say to viewers?
I would like to say keep sending in your comments. We hope to give you something more good in 2025, and we're going to make it sing together. Compliment.
And you, Mickey?
I just want to say, always take this to be your trusted source of sports analysis. So we'll see you 2025. Happy New Year.
And from me and all of us, it is adios. Compliments of the season, and enjoy the best of 2025.